Alright, guys, we're going to talk about Paddington in Peru. I know I'm a little late to this review, but I still wanted to review this movie. This is the third film in the franchise. This is going to be a non spoiler review, so you guys can keep watching. This film follows Paddington, who returns to Peru to visit his beloved Aunt Lucy. I love the first two movies. I kind of wish I had rewatched them before this third one came out, but the work of trying to watch the old ones before the new one comes out is a little too much for me to do sometimes. I just finished watching Den of Thieves 2, but I had to watch Den of Thieves 1, and it's every movie feels like, like I got to watch the original, or I got to watch the first few films, or the first one, whatever. So I chose to not rewatch Paddington 1 and 2, but this kind of felt like one I wished I had a little bit. Not that you were lost or anything, I just was just to really compare them, personally. But I still believe, just from memory, I think the first one is probably my favorite. The second one is very charming and I love it to death, and it's quite good for a second film, which I don't see too often these days, a second film being that good. Although, since I just referenced it, I really did like Den of Thieves 2. But more comparably to Paddington, for another kids movie, I really loved The Croods 2 and Inside Out 2 or something like that. Um, but I still feel like the first is a classic. Um, Going into this film, when I saw the trailer, I was a little nervous because Sally Hawkins was not returning as uh, Mary Brown or Mrs. Brown, uh, and I couldn't help but wonder why. I guess she said she felt she was done with the character. Uh, I think another aspect of this film that was interesting was that they changed directors as well. Originally, the first director who did the first two films was named Paul King, which I thought he did a terrific job. He also is known for he did the Wonka movie most recently. Those are probably the three biggest things he's done. And then the guy who did Paddington in Peru, this film is pretty much a first time director. Yeah, he's done shorts and he's mostly done music videos. The first third of this movie, I was a little worried, and I felt that. I felt the inexperience, and I was like, oh no, is he gonna be full on music video guy for this movie? But thankfully, that's not what it turned out to be. Um, but I did notice something lacking, or something that was different, and I certainly feel like it's because of the director change. Ben Whishaw, who plays Paddington, the voice of Paddington, is so good as Paddington that I feel like it's what holds the movie together. Um, if they changed the voice actor, I think it would have killed the franchise. He plays him so perfectly, and it's truly the heart and soul and charm of that character is getting to hear his delicate and sweet, soothing voice as Paddington. I still think is the best part of the film. And the character still remains to be good and inspiring, and I appreciated that. Uh, I still love the family. I'm glad they kept the dad, Hugh Bonneville, as Henry Brown. Does such an amazing job. He's one of my favorite characters in this franchise. Um, the kids are good. I think they're the same kids who they used in Paddington 1 and 2, as well as, what's her name? Julie Walters is wonderful, as always. New additions, though, that I thought were fun was Olivia Coleman. Was definitely a standout from this movie. I'd never seen her really do anything quite like this. I've never seen her do such a silly comedy role before, personally. I guess that, maybe she has. I just haven't explored her filmography as much as I should. But it was very enjoyable. It was just the right amount of silly, and she probably made me laugh the most. Another new addition was Antonio Banderas, who I've always been a fan of. I love that he's still doing stuff. I think probably the last thing I saw him do was Puss in Boots, and it was nice to see him play a totally different character. Um, and he always plays different. He's played so many different characters, but very silly, very funny, and was fun to see him do this role. I liked him in this. I'm trying to think what else I can talk about without spoiling. I think it was a nice change of setting. That was another thing I appreciated about the movie. Was just getting to go to Peru was a nice change of pace from the other two films. I did like the scenery and the world that we got to go to, and seeing Paddington try to fit in and adapt and stuff like that was an aspect that I liked of the movie. And I thought it ended really sweet. I loved it. Um, I wasn't like bawling my. I never really bawled my eyes out for any of the Paddington movies, although that was kind of the warning I got uh, most frequently in preparation to watch Paddington. Was so many people told me they were bawling their eyes out, and I understand why. I took it more as sweet. I didn't really, and I felt the same way about this movie too. Uh, it was just beautiful. I feel like all three of the movies I almost was there, um, but this one still had that heart and soul that I felt was essential to Paddington films. Maybe it's because I went in with such low expectations, but overall, I enjoyed this movie. It wasn't my favorite, but it was definitely better than I thought it was going to be. So I was pleased. I feel like fans of Paddington will still enjoy this movie, and I do recommend it. It's definitely one of the best things that is in theaters right now. I feel like, um, and just overall a damn well decent movie. I just enjoyed it more than I thought I would. But that's just me. I would love to hear what you guys thought of Paddington in Peru. Stay tuned for more. Let me know down below what you guys thought. And thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.